Hey everybody, how is your week going so far? I thought I'd jump back on and share a little bit more about the coaching, about how to break free from your inner critic, how to reconnect with your inner child, to heal that part of yourself that still feels wounded. Now, anybody that's ever read Eckhart Tolle's books understands or may have read what he talked about, the pain body, but we don't always understand that what that means. And part of living our life in the pain body is part of us living our life trying to avoid pain that we've already experienced. Now, the job of our subconscious program is to keep us safe. It's to protect us and keep us safe. And it creates the dialogue and the programs that run within us that we hear all the time. So you may have been in a situation, I know I have multiples of times in my past, and not so often now, but definitely in my past, where I end up in a conversation with myself with it feels like you've got that good angel and the devil on your shoulder, one that tears you apart, calls you all the names, tells you you're ridiculous, you're not smart, you're fat, you're ugly, you never get anything right, it's always your fault, nobody likes you. That is your subconscious, that is your inner critic. And then the other part of you that tells you you are amazing and you are somebody that has tremendous gifts is your higher self. But the inner critic is so loud, and we've gotten so used to hearing it that we don't even believe anymore that we are capable of more than what we tell ourselves we're capable of. So when we listen to that inner critic telling us that you'll never get that job, you're not smart enough for that. People are only being nice to you because they don't want to tell you how much of a bitch you are, or people are only being nice to you because you bring them candy, or people are only being nice to you for some other reason, or because of somebody you know. These are all words of the inner critic. And the inner critic is constantly listening. The subconscious program, the subconscious is continually listening 365 days of the year. 24 hours a day. It never turns off. And it's listening to our own personal dialogue. It's listening to what we watch on TV. It's listening to what we listen to on the radio. It listens to every single conversation we have with people around us. And it decides that everything that you talk about is what it's going to bring about. So when we sit watching CNN all day long, and we are fearful of what we are told on television, we actually view the world from a very, very fearful place. And the inner critic continues to tell us the world's not safe, people are not nice, everybody's mean, somebody's always out to get you, you can't trust anybody. Now, is this your dialogue? Is this what you hear on a daily basis? Because one thing I know with doing the coaching that I've now been doing for a few years and doing human behavior and listening and doing training on the subconscious, we are not our thoughts. We are the thinker of our thoughts. And every single program that is in your subconscious was created by a situation in your life or a thought about a situation in your life. And every time we have repeated that situation, so we've gotten ourselves into a loop pattern, then we end up coming back to the same thing, and it reinforces that loop pattern, and it becomes the belief within us that this is how the world is. We also can get into catastrophic thinking. So catastrophic thinking, I liken it to a train coming into a station. So the train comes into the station and the thought might be, I need $1,000 for this bill. $1,000 is what I need. And the train leaves the station And as it leaves the station, it's, oh my God, where am I going to get the money from? That $1,000 is now going to be $5,000. Then I'm going to get behind on my mortgage. Then I'm going to be, where am I going to be in 5 years? What it's going to be like when I retire? And that catastrophic thinking keeps growing and growing and growing and growing and becomes another loop. And we have these loops going on inside of us. But the magic of who we are, the magic of the creation that we are, we have a higher consciousness. We have a super consciousness. We have that good angel, if you like, the one that tells us we are capable of all this. And as I mentioned, you are not your thoughts. You are the thinker of your thoughts, and you can change that thought pattern. When we start to do work and you start to look at the story that we tell ourselves, we can very often become in victim mode, where we're a victim of our circumstance, we're a victim of our story. And that holds us in place. But you have the power to break free from that. Sometimes we don't know where to start. It's like looking at a house with a hoarder and knowing that you need to clean the whole house, but you don't know which room to start in. That's where I come in with the coaching. I listen to your story. I listen and hear everything said. And then I will send you questions that will help you and support you deeper dive into your own thought process. And then when I get the answers back, I send you more questions so that you can deeper dive into the truth of the story that has been created. And that's not to dismiss the story. That's not to say that this hasn't happened to you and you're not valid feeling the way you are. You are valid in feeling the way you do. But you also have the ability to break free from it. You also have the power to step outside of that limiting belief story and create a completely different one. A very, very good friend of mine told me a statement that has stuck with me. And I love this statement. And it is, we expand and contract to the degree of our courage. So if you know that you're in a loop cycle, if you know that you have the same negative thought pattern going around and around and around every day, and you keep asking yourself, I keep doing these good things, but I keep coming back to the same place. It's because of your subconscious. It's because you know that you have survived what you have already survived, and your subconscious says, I don't want to step outside of this box because I know we can manage here. We can become very comfortable in being miserable. And it's not until you break through, step over, expand, and get into the position of feeling uncomfortable and learning something new that that comfort zone expands. So if you're looking to discover perhaps some of your own limiting beliefs, start with this question. And the question is, what are my shoulds? What is it that you say you should do? I should go to the gym. I should eat healthier. Oh, I should go and do this. I should be in a better position by now. I should be married with 4 kids by now. I should be in a great relationship by now. I should have $1,000 or $100,000 in my bank account. What are your shoulds? Make a list of your shoulds, and that's exactly where to start breaking free from your limiting belief. Because every single one of those shoulds is a limiting belief about yourself. And then ask yourself, where do you go from here? Reach out to me if you have any questions. I am happy to support. Part of my mission and my own soul is here to support you breaking through this. It was my own self-discovery, my own limiting beliefs that I had and still have. I'm still breaking free of some of my limiting beliefs because it's part of our expansion and our journey while we're here. But it was through my own willingness and need to figure out why I showed up the way I showed up that I actually began to break free of the chains and the binds that had held me in place from a thought that I had created when I was so young that I didn't even have the capacity to understand what that thought meant for the rest of my life. So have a look, get yourself a journal and write down what your shoulds are. And that is an excellent place to start. I look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye for now.